welcome in, everybody, to another week of high school football. What a beautiful night we got. It was kind of rainy most of the day in Jacksonville and the area, northeast Florida, southeast Georgia, but it gave way to a beautiful evening. We've been very fortunate, especially if you think about our friends in Louisiana who are dealing with another hurricane. We've dealt with that stuff before in September and October. So happy to have another beautiful Friday night. So happy to be with you here on a Friday night. And once again, not on ESPN 690 on the radio side, but we invite you to watch all the video platforms anyway. The NBA Finals are on ESPN 690 on the radio side right now. But this Blitz Scoreboard show will take you up until 10 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we are happy to be with you. Glad you are with us. And we will run down scores and highlights. You'll see the scores on the bottom line. It's the Blitz Scoreboard Show brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. And we will have some coaches join in. Stuart Weber, maybe Marcel Robinson. We'll take you live to Fleming Island, Oakleaf. Marcel Robinson on the Fleming Island beat, but back-to-back weeks. It was a beautiful game to show you last week. Depends which side you're on, I guess. But Fleming Island came back in the fourth quarter last week to beat Creekside, and we showed you some of that finish. And tonight, we get Fleming Island at Oakleaf, a little rivalry game there in Clay County. And we will take you there. Marcel Robinson, a live camera, is over there. We also have some highlights from around the area. I was at Atlantic Coast against Ed White, also at Sandalwood and Rains. Sandalwood ends up winning 17-8. So let's get through a couple of the scores to start you off and show you what kind of games we have here on this Friday night. You can see some of the scores, but once again, I'll be sharing them along the way. First Coast up on Yulee 34-0. I was interested to see which team would show up for First Coast on that one. Bishop Kenny 28-25 over Orange Park, 22-14. There it is, Fleming Island and Oakleaf. We'll take you there in just a bit. How about Bartram Trail and Ponte Vedra 12-9? Ponte Vedra's defense very good this year. I think they've allowed only 20 points all season, and they're holding down Bartram Trail at the time. Menendez beating Inglewood. Ridgeview and Middleburg all tied up. That's a fun one. We'll see how that one ends in the second half. St. Augustine, 28-7 over Flagler Palm Coast after having the week off. Eagles View tied up at 14 with Cedar Creek Christian. Clay, 28. West Nassau, 22. Clay unbeaten. West Nassau trying to find its way a little bit. An unusual losing streak for them, but they're playing tough at Clay High School. Creekside trying to bounce back 24-3 over Nice. Remember, they had a big lead last week and blew it, so we'll see if they can hang on to it. Sewanee beating Palatka. And there you see some of the scores that we've already told you about as we hope to get more scores in there. And we also will take you live to places like Bowles. They are playing Trinity Catholic, not Trinity Christian. Trinity Christian is also playing, but they're playing Mandarin. So we will keep you posted on all these scores as we get a peek in at the Bowles game. Bowles up 14-0. They scored to break a tie earlier in the game, but late in the first half, and that put them up 7-0. They've since added a touchdown after halftime. And what I always say is, if that score is correct, because sometimes the scoreboards on these schools' feeds are not correct, and that one looks to be right now, but it says 14-0. We'll see if it is 14-0, and we will continue to update you on the Bowl School as they try to get another win. We'll take you around the area with some of these games as well as Bowles get set to try to get another win. Remember, they lost earlier this year against Creekside. I think we have Stuart Weber on the phone. I can't hear you, Kuz. I know you're playing around with stuff on the board, but that is we're going to go to Stuart Weber right now. I think he's been on a triple hop today, so hopefully I can hear Stuart here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Let's check it out. Stuart Weber, where are you?
Hey, I'm on I-295. Very exciting.
Drive safe.
Always do.
All right, tell us where you've been, because I think you got an extra one in. I like the effort, man.
Love the bonus games. Always love to get a little bonus game in there. I started off at First Coast. I heard you mention that you were interested to see which First Coast showed up. Well, the good one. The good one showed up because they looked really good, especially through the air, just finding that offense. And, man, let me tell you, Jabari Max, their wide receiver, he made one heck of a play, which you're going to have to watch the Friday Night Blitz tonight to see it. It was tremendous. A Play of the Week nominee. I got 2 Play of the Week nominees. I'll tell you about the other one in a little bit. But, yeah, Jabari Mack was just sensational. And, you know, they weren't afraid to air it out, the Buccaneers. And that's interesting when you consider that Cedric Faison's walking that sideline now, along with Marty Lee over there, the former Fletcher offensive coordinator, and, of course, the former great running back with the Florida Gators, C4. will score, as Mick Hubert used to say back in the day. But, yeah, so they weren't afraid to throw that ball around, and they set it up with some good running plays as well. But the passing offense is what really impressed me from First Coast as they cruise to a big victory tonight.
Yeah, and they get the win over Yulee, so a good win for them. Tell us about your next stop. I think Mandarin Trinity Christian. Mandarin hanging around. They've had a tough schedule. They've played tough. I don't know if they're as talented as they've been, and, of course, certainly not as talented as that state championship team, but they've had a tough schedule, played hard, and hanging around with Trinity Christian at last check.
Yeah, no doubt. And that tough schedule is really going to pay off for them later on in the year. I mean, we now know the playoff brackets, which is crazy and insane, but it is what it is. And so once they get to that part of the year, I think Mandarin will benefit from a game against a team like Trinity Christian, who has looked completely different from that first half, the only other half that I saw them in person this year. That first half against Bowles, when they were getting utterly dominated and sloppy and just penalties everywhere. But that was their first half of the entire season. And Bowles has been, Trinity Christian, has been a completely different team since that halftime deficit to Bowles. Even in the second half of that game, they played better, won the next two, and 14-7 when I left, and I believe that was the halftime score as well for Trinity Christian over Mandarin. And, Trinity Christian was doing what they do good. I mean, you got Marcus Burke out there. You use him. You got Traylon Webb, a great running back. You use him. They got those weapons, man, and Ja'Cory Jordan knows how to use them, and he certainly was doing that in the first half when I was there tonight.
Stuart Weber with us. He's been out and about, and then you hit another game. You got Bishop Snyder in there as well on the west side.
Yeah, I mean, it's over there. It was a little further away than I thought it was. For some reason, I thought it was like right next to Trinity, but it was only like 11. It was only like 11 minutes. It was fine. My map is not to scale. I've just got to remember that in the future when I look at my paper map that says who's home tonight. But yeah, no, it's cool. I went to back-to-back Trinity Christian games because they were also playing Trinity Christian. That would be the Deltona version of Trinity Christian. And Bishop Snyder, they were out there. It was homecoming. I saw the kids having a good time, and I got to see a really good touchdown from their athletic quarterback. I'll have to look up his name for you a little later and show you the highlight of him. Do you remember the touchdown, I want to say it was like 5 years ago, from Nick Troney, where he goes flipping into the end zone at the pylon?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It was one of our best highlights in recent memory. I have a very similar highlight that we'll see tonight from Bishop Snyder's QB getting into the end zone. So certainly a Player of the Week nominee, and that touchdown brought them to within 2. So they were trailing 14-12 when I had the Bishop Snyder out there trying to get a homecoming victory and send all those fans home happy.
Hey, one last thought. You mentioned the brackets came out. Just overall, quick thought. We're not going to show them tonight, but we will show them as we go along in the next few weeks and lead up to the playoffs. But do you like how they did this thing? And by the way, Stuart made some colorful brackets that will be great for television tonight. And also, it's already on social media. He did put a lot of work into them. They look fantastic. But outside of that, do you like the way the brackets shook out and how they're doing this, these random draws?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You would have liked it to be weighted a little bit in some way, shape, or form, weighted to benefit the teams that have done well. Because you look at, like, Bowles. Bowles, the only way they can get a home game is if they make it to the state semifinals. Their first 3 games would be all on the road to start out the postseason. And that doesn't reward a team that, is likely going to have a very good record once you go into the postseason. Now, on the other foot, it's 2020, so whatever, right? Do whatever this year, and it's going to be a different year. It is what it is, and you're going to get some schools that are hosting playoff games that maybe have never done it, that maybe haven't done it in 60 years. Teams that have struggled immensely have the chance to opt in and get a taste of this playoff football. So who knows? Maybe that little taste of elimination football, where there is no next week kind of deal, even though technically there is a next week because you can schedule more games, but that's a whole other story. But that taste, certainly it could have a positive impact on some of these players and say, hey, next year when, fingers crossed, everything is back to normal, well, then we have this goal. We have this tangible goal. We've seen what it looks like, and now let's go earn it. Let's go get it for real. And, you hope that's maybe one of the outcomes that comes with it next year.
All right. Stuart Weber, now he's hustling back, and he'll put together Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30. A little triple hop, 2 weeks in a row for Stuart Weber. Thanks, man, for checking in.
You got it. We got a good show tonight, by the way. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good.
I like that. I like it. Some good highlights on the way. We're really enjoying it. It's been a great high school season. Stuart Weber, drive safe. We'll see you back here in the studio in just a little bit down in the TV land, as we call it. Give you some other scores now as we look at bowls and Trinity Catholic, that is. Not Trinity Christian, but Trinity Catholic. Again, that's not us controlling that scoreboard, but we are sharing the feed of that right now in the third quarter as Bowles looks to be shutting out. We think that is the score. We are leaning on that scoreboard right now. Bowles, we've seen them score a couple of times, so it looks correct, and it looks like they might be going in again as the Bowles School has the ball and might be giving it to Cade Frew here down now inside the 10 as he has been their horse all season long. Talented player for the Bowles School, fast, shifty, and powerful as well. The running back for Bowles. Take a look at some of the scores. An update, Clay now 2-touchdown lead over West Nassau. Creekside still looking at a 24-3 lead. First Coast, Stuart just told you about First Coast. The Bucks came out, played really well against Yulee, and they're winning big, and they win big. Fleming Island, 22-14 over Oakley. If we have a camera there, we'll take you there. We'll give you some live pictures from there in just a bit. Keep an eye on that Bartram Trail Ponte Vedra game as well. 12-9 is the score at the moment. We got some other scores that might not be showing up on our feed that I want to pass along to you. St. Augustine 28-7 over Flagler Palm Coast. We know that one was showing up. We got Matanzas 35-3 over Lake Howell. Ridgeview now has broken the tie, 27-20 over Middleburg. Union County in the lead, 7-3. There's a good one there in Columbia County. Madison County up 12-0 on the road against the Tigers in the second half. Trinity Christian at halftime over Mandarin by a touchdown. Up in Southeast Georgia, Coffee beating Camden County 17-13. I'm really impressed with Camden County. It looks like they're back a bit, which is great to see. Camden County has a great program, but been down in recent years and now trying to claw their way back. And it looks like they've done some impressive wins down here against Oakleaf and Rains. They also had another big win against, I think it was McIntosh. I'm saying that and I'm thinking out loud, but I think it was McIntosh. And now they're going toe-to-toe with Coffee right there at home in Southeast Georgia. Clinch County and Charlton County tied at 6. Brunswick over Glenn. That's a good rivalry game now. 14-7, Brunswick in the lead. Atlantic Coast, it says in the second quarter, I think this one might be done. It's 31-12 over Ed White. I was there. It was 17-0 at halftime. That game is long gone. So I would assume that's not the second quarter score, but that's a final score, 31-12. Interlochen over Taylor, 14-7. Fernandina Beach, 36-0 over Paxton. So a nice bounce back win for Fernandina Beach. I was at the Sandalwood game. They got a couple of safeties in that game, and they win 17-8 over the Rains Vikings. You know, Rains now is 1-4 on the season. So they are struggling, and Sandalwood is looking good. A couple of one-point wins. This one was a defensive battle for Sandalwood and Rains. And the Saints, again, had a couple of safeties. They got a couple big-time defenders now. Brandon Jennings with one of those safeties. He wears number 44 for the Saints, and he's going to Florida State. They have talent. Chris Calhoun, the quarterback, was effective when he needed to be, including a touchdown run that really broke the game open after one of those safeties. So 17-8, Sandalwood gets the win. They go to 4-0. They've won a couple of nail-biters, one over Ribault 27-26. They won last week over Clearwater Academy 39-38 in comeback fashion, and they won big over Nice earlier in the season to start their year. But now they scratch and claw and get a victory over Sandalwood 17-8 here on this Friday night. So Sandalwood and Adam Geis are now 4-0. Fletcher 28, Ribault 12. So a good win for the Fletcher Senators. Miles Montgomery probably getting it done again. We'll check in and see what kind of numbers he had in that one. And here's, look at this game. I was interested to see this game. Baldwin and Andrew Jackson. Baldwin, who we've talked about a lot on this show the last few weeks. Coach Shields has joined us. They stay undefeated as Baldwin wins 22-12 against that upstart Jackson team. And Jackson's been a little inconsistent, but they show signs of life. And I thought this game was going to be an interesting test for them. Bryce Tompkins and Baldwin get it done in the end, 22-12. Baker County jumped all over Terry Parker. That was another one we had our eyes on. We kind of wondered, okay, Baker County for real? Parker going to challenge him? Well, Baker County jumped all over him 28-0, and they win 42-14 going away. Wilson hangs around with Father Lopez, but loses 35-20 in the end. And what else we have? Sewanee over Palatka, 47-0. So those are some of the scores to pass along so far here early on a Friday night. It's the Blitz Scoreboard Show brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Last night, Providence won over St. Joseph, 49-27. So they got the W. We're keeping an eye on some games around the area. Looks like Bowles is marching in, yet to score, though. As I took my eye off that one, so it feels like they're in the same exact place I left them at a couple of moments ago. But Bowles trying to add on another score and win at home here on this Friday night. Coos, you want to take a break? Let's take a break. When we come back, we will have more scores, more highlights. Hopefully some coaches will join us along the way, and we'll take live pictures of that Oakley-Fleming Island matchup in Clay County. Marcel Robinson is there, and Bowles trying to get in the end zone, not able to do so just yet. Maybe we'll keep this one on the live feed as we head to break back in a few minutes here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Video platforms only tonight because of the NBA Finals. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He finds the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
15 to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown to Mario Terry. He is scary. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long, right here on your home for Florida State football.
Right here on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles.
Back to school also means back to Friday night football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway, just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at MacDill Air Force Base or Eglin Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio. Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Now, back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues.
Hey, welcome back. Brett Morneau here. Coos pushing all the buttons. Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson out there gathering more video. Olivia Tassley as well. We hope to have some coaches on here in just a little bit. If you're watching the scores at the bottom of our screen, you can see Bartram has now taken a 10-point lead. They led by just a field goal a short time ago. Bowles just scored. We just showed you that here if you're watching our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter feeds. And I think we're going to switch over right now to our game of the week brought to you by Honda the Avenues. And that game is Fleming Island and Oakleaf. Marcel Robinson's camera is live there. And Oakleaf has just rallied to tie the game at 22. It was 22-7 Fleming Island. And now Oakleaf has come back and tied the game. So how about that, as Marcel Robinson's pictures will take us right out there to Clay County. Plenty of time left in this game, and we'll see what happens. As Fleming Island hasn't lost in a bit now in the regular season. They continue to win. They found a way to get it done last week in our game of the week, and they got it done in dramatic fashion, coming back from a 23-6 deficit and beating Creekside, really stunning Creekside, 26-23. And as you can tell, Oakleaf, they're in the black, has a lot of momentum in this game. You can tell they're fired up, and we'll keep an eye on this game coming down the stretch and how this one finishes it up. For sure, we'll take you there and hopefully be able to fill you in. The one thing, Marcel will show us the scoreboard a bit. See, there it is. Look at that. Oh, so there's a minute left in the fourth. I didn't think we were that far by. A lot of these games take forever to end. So, wow, it's 22-22 in the fourth with a minute to go. So, Marcel Robinson, thanks for the scoreboard shot to fill us in. And it's 4th and 5. So, this is a huge play upcoming. Hey, this is what it's all about. This is what I love. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take you right here, so keep an eye on this one and how this one wraps up in the last minute or so. Other scores going at the bottom line here, of course. This is the Blitz Scoreboard Show brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. And I'm also trying to tweet, they're going to punt it away now. Fleming Island is and play some defense. Now, keep an eye on Walt Simmons III, one of the best quarterbacks, probably the best quarterback in the area. They've had a tough stretch, though, in the early going of this season. They've played some really good competition. They went up to Lowndes, top 10 in the country. Camden County came down here, and he's had, I think, 8 interceptions against 7 touchdowns early this season. So it's been a bit of a tough go for Coach Garris there and the Oakleaf Knights and Walt Simmons. But now he gets a chance with less than a minute to play to see if he can rally them over rival Fleming Island. This has become a pretty good rivalry over the years as both teams and both programs have established themselves out in Clay County. So live pictures here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show brought to you by Honda the Avenues. We're going to hang with this game, too. 50 seconds to go, tied at 22. Oakleaf has come back and made this one a football game, and you'll see Walt Simmons with the football coming up. He is an East Carolina commit, and they hand off early. Let's see how quick they move, or if they move for play for overtime. Looks like they're going to get right back on that football. I'm probably a little bit behind you watching it, so bear with me there. But still, this is fun to be able to take it to the final minute. As you continue to see scores below, Clay now has stretched their lead 43-22. And how far do you think I'm behind, Kuz? About 30 seconds? Minute? That's all right. Whatever. We'll walk them through. People will be patient enough. We're taking them live, baby, live to the end of a game. I love it. And so here we go. Walt Simmons now looking pass. And let's see, you've probably already seen the result of this, as I mentioned, but I'm going to give you some play-by-play anyway. And now Fleming Island has picked it off. Wow. Coos, you knew that before me. That's like in the studio when we're like on the broadcast TV, the newsroom will erupt. Like if the Jags do something and we're back in the sports office and we have satellite. And so it's way behind. We're like, what happened? Was it good? Was it bad? Coos knew. I didn't. Fleming Island picks it off with a big defensive play. So now what will Fleming Island do, and will they get themselves in a situation where they could potentially kick a game-winning field goal to win this football game? Wow, what a game. Glad we went to this one, Stuart Weber. You never know when you set the lineup, and Stuart sets the lineup. Do we go back to Fleming, back-to-back weeks? We went for it, and this is paying off right now here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show as we're giving you final minute live pictures. And they're going to take a knee and go to overtime. So we got a little extra session there at Fleming Island. And Oakleaf This is awesome. Good stuff. We will continue to keep an eye on that one. Maybe we'll even get Marcel Robinson. Text Marcel, see if he has a chance to give us a buzz. I don't want to take too much away from him, but he might be able to talk to us while he shoots, and we get an update from Fleming Island and Oakleaf, although he does have a lot of responsibilities toward the end of the game. Brent Martineau here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. As you continue to see scores roll along and we take you to the end of that game, we'll keep the camera on that one for overtime. In overtime, the high school rules to get the ball from the 10-yard line. So each team will get it from the 10-yard line, and we'll see what happens from there. Clay leads West Nassau 43-22. Creekside now 31-10 in the fourth over Nice, trying to bounce back after losing to Fleming Island. Union County in the lead, 7-3. Madison County, 12-0 over Columbia. That's a battle between two very good programs. First Coast wins big over Yulee. Atlantic Coast wins big over Ed White. Bartram Trail now up 10 on Ponte Vedra at last check. And I just got a refresh, so we'll see what else is happening with the scores. Orange Park has come back against Bishop Kenny, 38-35. St. Augustine, 28-7 over Flagler Palm Coast. They are in control. Eaglesview, 20. Cedar Creek Christian, 14. And let's see what else we have for you that we can roll through some scores. Menendez, 47. Inglewood, 35. Middleburg and Ridgeview all tied up at 27. Camden County now down by a touchdown to Coffee. Brunswick over Glenn. Trinity Christian and Mandarin. The last update we have is that's halftime. I got to believe that's in the second half by now. Is that Marcel? Marcel, we have on the line. Marcel, you're doing yeoman's work, man, taking it to the end of that game. Oakleaf and Fleming Island. You're on the Fleming Island beat. This is good games the last couple of weeks.
Well, they call me the comeback kid for my skills on the football field, but I guess those skills are translated over to the Friday Night Blitz. Second comeback in a row with Fleming Island involved. Obviously, we're going to see how this one turns out. Overtime, the coin has been flipped, and we're about to play some football. All
right, I'm not going to take you too long, but how did they do it? They were down 22-7. How did Oakleaf come back and tie this thing up and send it to overtime?
It was actually pretty crazy. Fleming Island comes out and they have an 8-minute and 20-second drive to open the half to stretch their lead. And at that point, we're on the sideline thinking that, the momentum is clearly in Fleming Island's favor. The Kings of Clay County are coming in here to take another victory to stay undefeated. And then, of course, Walter Simmons leads them down on a drive, and the defense finally woke up, got a turnover, and a change of possession, and then hopefully it comes back down. You can tell that there was definitely a sense of being, pride being tested in terms of the Oakleaf Knights, because after being beaten down for 8 minutes straight, Frank Garrett got his guys on the sideline, and then momentum just took over, and here we go.
All right, go guys, shoot some video. I know you got a lot of post-game responsibilities. Keep that camera on that scoreboard and that field. We want to see the finish right here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Thanks, man.
You got it.
Marcel Robinson, really Marcel, the MVP of this show, because he gets us these live pictures toward the end of the game. Remember a few weeks ago we had Trinity Christian. They tied it up late. Fleming Island last week coming back. We had that in the process. They finished actually after our show went off the air at 10 o'clock. And now tonight we're sending it overtime between Fleming Island and Oakleaf. Our game of the week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. This is what the show's all about. This is what we're trying to do. We've already peeked in on Bowles a little bit. And Bowles was leading 21-0. We'll show you some more games, but we may show you less games because I want to stay with this game so far and see how it pans out. Oakleaf, right off the rip, first play, right? In the overtime from the 10-yard line, they get the score. So now Oakleaf goes on top. What will be interesting is extra points and two-point conversions. In high school, extra points and two-point conversions are like keeping your fingers crossed. I mean the extra point part. It might be safer to go for a two-point conversion. Olivia's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of missed kicks in my few weeks here doing this. So, Kuz, you can jump in if you want. You tell me. You can see it earlier than I can.
They just went for a field goal.
An extra point there? Okay.
Extra point, yep, sorry, and it was good.
Extra point's good. So how about that? So that puts a lot of pressure on Fleming Island. Oakleaf has now scored 22 unanswered points at the moment. We're in overtime. Fleming Island against Oakleaf. Our game of the week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. And on the first play of overtime, Oakleaf gets the job done. They score. And now it's all up to Fleming Island on offense. Can they do the same and send this to a double overtime? That's what we're going to hang on here before we take a commercial break and find out. I think Bobby Rollerson's calling me instead of calling the station. We're going to have Bobby Rollerson on here in just a bit from Fletcher High School. So we'll get that squared away as we continue to show the end of the Fleming Island and Oakleaf game. Keep an eye on that now, Coos, for me, as they get ready to line up. Fleming Island does. There's their first play of overtime, down a touchdown, 29-22, and Fleming Island will basically have 4 downs to go tie the game up. Extra point, 2-point conversion will hinge on that as well. You know what's interesting about this, and let's see what happens as the fade to the end zone goes incomplete. But if you're the coach, if you're Damian Springs of Fleming Island, you know, there's no playoff spots on the line right now. Your record doesn't matter. So would you go for 2 against the rival and just try to pull off the win? Interesting thought process. We'll see maybe what Fleming Island chooses to do as we're taking a live look in at Fleming Island and Oakleaf. Second down in overtime. Fleming Island has the ball down by a touchdown. We're going to talk to Bobby Rollerson about Fletcher's big win here in just a moment, but we're keeping an eye on this game. Fleming Island, Oakleaf. Fleming Island was up 22-7. Our game of the week brought to you by Honda the Avenues, and they're throwing to the end zone again. That goes incomplete, so it will bring up third down. And while we keep an eye on this, let's bring in Bobby Rollerson from Fletcher High School, the head coach. After a big win, I think it was 28-12. We hope our score was right. Congrats on the win, Coach.
Hey, thanks, Brent. I appreciate it.
You guys, tell us a little bit about the game. I wasn't out there. I think Olivia here was. She has her hand raised right next to me. But how did it go for you? Did you play pretty well?
It was sloppy in the first half, I got to be honest with you. But we just kind of kept plugging away, running the football with Miles and our offensive line. And we were able to jump out to a 10-0 halftime lead. And then we took the the second half kickoff back for a score to get up 17-0, and then I think our kids kind of took the foot off the accelerator a little bit, and total credit goes to Revolt and Coach White and his kids for continuing to fight, and they kept fighting back and got back in it, and then Miles, I believe, ripped off about a 60 or 70 yarder for us to go up another 2 scores. So it alternated a little bit back and forth between a 1-score and 2-score lead, and Miles and our offense was able to put it away late in the fourth quarter.
Bobby Rollerson, after a win for Fletcher over Revolt today, with us here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show on Action Sports Jackson on ESPN 690. We're on the video platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now. Normally on ESPN 690 on the radio side, but the NBA Finals are on the radio side tonight, so we're still delivering it to you on the social media platforms. And, Coach, I'm going to interrupt just a bit because I want to set the scene. Folks are looking at Fleming Island and Oakleaf. They're in overtime. Live pictures from the overtime. Fourth down, and it looks like from the 5-yard line for Fleming Island as Oakleaf leads 29-22. Let me ask you this, Coach. Playoffs and all the wins and losses and seeding, it's already established. So if Fleming Island were to score here, would you go for 2 and just go for the win?
Yeah, absolutely. Now again, depending on the flow of the game and what's happened in the second half, but I think you make a great point. I think at this point, if you got a chance to go win it, you go win it and get out of there. And if you don't and you fall short, it's great experience for your kids because in all likelihood, 2 great teams that are playing, they're likely going to be in that situation again at some point down the road. So if it was me, I'd go for 2 and try to go ahead and put it away.
Well, I love the thinking, and, they don't have to worry about it because Oakleaf kept them out of the end zone on the 3-yard line. It was a completed pass to TK Kosak, but they couldn't get in. Good tackling by Oakleaf, and how about the Knights? They come back and get a big win, 29-22 in overtime. They were down 22-7, so huge win for the Oakleaf Knights over that rival Fleming Island. Fleming Island's first regular season loss in a very long time. Coach, you've been around the high school scene a lot. Just jump in on this thought with me, and I think Fleming Island is so underrated. We talk about all these schools, right? Bowles and Fletcher and you name it, right? But we don't talk about Fleming Island probably enough. They've done a great job out there.
Yeah, Coach Springs has done a tremendous job. And you're right. I think until recently they had been under the radar, and I'm sure Coach Springs probably prefers it that way with everybody in town. But it's been hard not to notice what they've done in the last 2 years. I mean, you look at even tonight, in a very, very close game against an Oakleaf team that, by all accounts is a really good football team that I know Coach Garris has taken up to Georgia and played a couple heavy hitters up there. So, yeah, I think Fleming is one of those teams that they're so well coached and they've got talented kids that buy in to good football and good disciplined football. They don't make a ton of mistakes. That, at least when we've played them the last 2 years, that's the thing that has struck me about them is they just don't make many mistakes, and they make you drive the field. If you're going to go score on them, you got to go earn it. And that's how I think they've won a bunch of football games is they believe in each other. The kids believe in each other, and it looks like a football team that's played together for a long time.
Hey, you didn't know you were coming on to be an analyst, did you? I mean, but you're doing a heck of a job. Bobby Rollerson with us, Fletcher High School coach after a win over Ribault tonight, 28-12. All right, I'll leave you with this. How good is Miles Montgomery, man? I mean, you ride that horse every game, every Friday night. You ask a lot of him. 2,000 yards a year ago. He might have gone over 1,000 yards tonight, in fact, because he was close to it heading into the game. Just give us a sense what kind of young man that he is and how good of a player he is.
He's one of the best high school football players I've ever been around, and I've been around some good ones in the last 15 years. He's a great young man off the field, and what in getting to know him, the way that I've gotten to know him in the last 6 to 8 months, his will to win is so tremendous, and it spreads within our offensive unit. He touches the ball 30 to 35 times a game, and I'm not sure how many times we gave it to him tonight. But he just wants more. He never gets tired. He wants the football in crunch time, and not in an arrogant way, Brent. It's give me the football, coach. I want to go win this thing for us. And he's just everything that a high school football player should be on the field and off the field. He's a tremendous young man who's got a bright future in front of him.
Bobby Rollerson, Fletcher High School coach. Congrats on the win. Thanks for jumping in for a few minutes. Let's do it again the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate all you guys do.
Have a great weekend. That's Bobby Rollerson. Fletcher gets a nice win over Ribault, a game Ribault team. I like what they're doing with the program. By the way, Rains Ribault coming up next Saturday afternoon. So that annual rivalry continues next Saturday, and that will be an afternoon game, of course, at 2 o'clock. Maybe we'll even have the coaches on to preview that one next week on the Blitz Scoreboard show. Coos, let's do this. We're way late on taking a break. Let's take a break, reset a little bit, maybe get some more live pictures in, go over some of the scores. We have our Athlete of the Week, and for the first time ever, we are going to debut our Blitz QB High Five, a salute to some of the best quarterbacks in the area. It's coming up on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch tonight. Normally on ESPN 690 on the radio side as well, but the NBA Finals there tonight as LeBron tries to win a fourth NBA championship. We'll be back. More high school football. Take you up until 10 o'clock, then hand off to the Friday Night Blitz on Fox 30 and CBS 47.
Keep climbing.
It's intercepted. Picked off of the 12. He will go down. He signs the promised land. Touchdown, FSU.
This is your home for FSU football.
15 to the 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown to Mario Terry. He is scary. Intercepted. Picked off of the 33-yard line. Noles win. Noles win.
Catch live coverage of the Seminoles all season long, right here on your home for Florida State football.
Right here on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio and the Florida State Seminoles.
Back to school also means back to Friday Night Football. Get to the game in style in a new Honda from Honda of the Avenues. Their incredible summer clearance event is going on now to make room for the new 2021 models. Find great deals and haul the whole team in a new Odyssey, Pilot, or CRV. Plus, Hondas are safe and reliable, just what you and your team need. Don't miss kickoff. Stop by the Honda Giant on Phillips Highway just a few yards south of the Avenues to see all their inventory, or start looking right now at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Donato's Pizza is proud to support the Florida State Seminoles. When it comes to pizza for game time, we can suit any taste. From 100 pepperonis on a large loaded edge-to-edge on smoked provolone and Romano, to our delicious and healthy cauliflower crust tomato bruschetta with plant-based sausage, to mariachi chicken, to the founder's favorite, and more. We offer a convenient pickup window or prompt delivery. Just give Donato's a try. That's all we ask. Order at 904donatos.com or call 904-DONATOS on your phone.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? Being a member of the Air Force Reserve. It's doing a job that makes a difference, serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve. To find out about local job opportunities with the Air Force Reserve at MacDill Air Force Base or Eglin Air Force Base, call 800-257-1212 or go to afreserve.com. This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting. That's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Now, back to the Blitz Scoreboard Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues.
All right, welcome back here at the Blitz Scoreboard Show. Brent Martineau, along with Olivia Tassiley, Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, Coos, everybody doing some work. We just brought you the end of that fantastic game. Oakleaf, in our Game of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues, beats Fleming Island in comeback fashion. It was a week ago that Fleming Island came back to beat Creekside. Now, Oakleaf returns the favor behind Walter Simmons and the rest of the Knights. Frank Garrison Company get the win in OT, 29-22. We just showed you that one live here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. It's the coolest thing we're doing. I love it. I get excited about it when we can take it to an end of a game and show it to you. Coach Kevin Mays now is going to join us, and then we're going to get to some other action. So let's do that right now. We still have our Athlete of the Week to get to, and also our Blitz QB High Five, which we're debuting tonight, some of the best quarterbacks in the area. Baker County with another win. They go to Terry Parker and get it done. And speaking of Athlete of the Week, Scooby Graham is a nominee for our Athlete of the Week. We'll tell you how the results turned out in just a moment. Kevin Mays, the head coach at Baker County. Thanks for jumping in on the Blitz Scoreboard Show, Coach, and congrats on another W.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I mean, heck, you guys are playing some fantastic football. The numbers are getting kind of goofy now. I mean, you're running up some pretty good scores on offense. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you're obviously clicking. And then your defense is playing really well, playing darn good football, it sounds like.
No, we're obviously we're happy with the way things are going. We came out tonight, and again, we got 4 good running backs, the guys that can run the ball. That's including our quarterback. And, jumped out to a 35-0 lead at halftime, and then, was able to get some guys in to try to get some experience for, you never know, we might need those guys later on down the road.
I was interested in this game from afar. I always tell people, listen, we don't know. I mean, I can tell you every single thing I think I know about the Jaguars. I don't know if I can tell you every single thing I know about Baker County High School football or Parker High School football. But I was interested because Parker's been up and down and inconsistent at times, but been very good at times too. I think Sharon Dorsey's doing a great job with the program. So I was kind of interested to see how you guys match up. Is there a little bit of that unknown for you as well, especially in this kind of season where everything got kind of turned upside down?
Well, we were able to get some film on them and kind of watch what they could do and who they had, and they got some really good players on their team, and we felt just with study, just like any coach, that there were a couple things that we could exploit, and it worked out for us tonight.
Carson Crawford's your quarterback. Of course, we all see Scooby Graham, I think, every Friday night in a highlight, I feel like. And plus, it's just a fun name to say. You just mentioned all the backs that you have. How's Carson doing from the quarterback position? It looks like you guys throw it when you need to, and he's been efficient. And you also mentioned his legs.
Yeah, he's doing great. And I don't know if they got it tonight. Scooby might have had I've done it for 23 years. He might have had one of the best runs tonight that I've been around. But Carson is a tough kid, and he's throwing the ball at something like 68-70%. And with our running attack, obviously everyone's keying in on that, and we've just been lucky to be throwing it at the right time. And we got his brother Cameron Crawford and J-Mod Ruiz and Tyler Richardson, and these guys are good receivers that can make it happen when we need to.
Kevin Mays, Baker County head coach, with us here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show, as we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, normally on ESPN 690 as well on the radio side, not tonight because of the NBA Finals. Coach, Baker County has so much history and tradition. They love it right now. Is there a little fever out there about your football team?
They do. And, I've only been here 2 years, and the fans and the community support this place, and they love it. And, of course, they love seeing us win. But as long as us and our coaching staffs are out there for the kids, I think that's what they love to see. And hopefully we can keep it rolling for them. We got a big week that we got to enjoy tonight and start getting ready for tomorrow.
All right, I got to ask you about that because I got to believe when this schedule came out, when you guys crafted this thing, you knew you were playing October 16th against Bowles was probably circled by a couple of your guys.
Oh, they are, and I learned back when I was a younger coach to schedule some teams that can really test you. And when I had the opportunity to play them, I said they're great program, and we look forward to the challenge this week to kind of see where we're at.
We look forward to it as well. You guys playing great football. Thanks for jumping in real quick and answering our call. 42-14, Baker County stays undefeated. That's Kevin Mays. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. Kevin Mays doing a great job with Baker County. All right, let's update some folks on the rest of what's going on right now. 42-14, Baker County beats Terry Parker. Baldwin with another one. They stay undefeated. 22-12. I think we're showing Menendez and Inglewood right now, Kuz. 55-35. We may have just shown Menendez scoring again because they scored in just the last couple of moments. It was 48-35. So that's a little bit of a shootout there. Inglewood and Menendez, a fun game as they go back and forth. Coffee now is pulling away from Camden County. That was close, but it's now 30-13 as they've scored 13 straight unanswered points up there in southeast Georgia. Eaglesview and Cedar Creek Christian, 20-20 football game. Bowles is on top, 24-7 over Trinity Catholic. We showed you pictures from that one earlier in the show. Brunswick and Glenn, 17-14 as I bounce back and forth between Florida and Georgia. But some good games in southeast Georgia tonight, and that, of course, is our listening and viewing area. Atlantic Coast wins big over Ed White. I was at that game. Bartram Trail now 33-16. A lot of scoring in the second half. That was a 12-9 game when we got on the air. 45 minutes later, it's 33-16. Bartram Trail is beating Ponte Vedra. Kuz, let me know when you got the First Coast game up there, and I'll talk a little bit about that one. You've got it ready to go. Okay, First Coast beats Yulee tonight. We had Stuart Weber on the early part of the show. He was out at that game, and First Coast is interesting. Didn't know what to expect. We've seen very good. We've seen not so good this year. Yulee kind of the same way. Got off to a pretty good start and then has not played great the last couple of weeks. First Coast wins big, 34-0. So a very good win for the First Coast Bucks here tonight in Duval County. Trinity Christian beating Mandarin 27-7. And we will continue to pass along some scores as we go. I was at the Sandalwood game. They beat Rains 17-8. Fernandina Beach big over Paxson 36-0. And we had Bobby Rollerson on earlier in the show. They beat Ribault 28-12. Let's, for a moment, introduce you to our Athlete of the Week on ESPN 690. We've been doing this for the last few weeks now. Had some excellent nominations, some really fun votes along the way. And we had 3 nominees once again this week. You can always go vote for your favorite. Show some pride or just because you think the young man or young woman deserves some recognition. You can nominate your nominees as well on ESPN690.com. Brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Jason Patterson is a running back for Ed White. More on him in a moment. Zeta Washington, a volleyball player for Ponte Vedra. And they stayed undefeated last night after beating Creekside in 5 games. It was a heck of a matchup between 2 of the best teams, not only in the state, not only in the area, but in the country in high school volleyball. Zeta Washington, one of the stars for Ponte Vedra, and they won that matchup last night. They stay undefeated. Look for Ponte Vedra to make a run deep into the playoffs at the state level. And Scooby Graham, we just talked about him with Kevin Mays from Baker County. They get another win tonight. Scooby Graham had a heck of a run, apparently. Hey, Olivia, did you get that one? You got that? You got that highlight? I can't wait to see it now. Coach talked it up. I got to see if you white balanced and were able to get it in the viewfinder. Because, listen, I've been there before where I missed them. So we'll see. That's on the Friday Night Blitz. See, Coach teased the heck of a run. We're going to have to see that highlight from Scooby Graham tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. That's at 10:30 on Fox 30. So he, of course, is a nominee. And the winner this week of our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues, is Jason Patterson. How about last week? 27 carries, 300 yards rushing, and a few touchdowns as well. Jason Patterson, 5'11.5", 200 pounds. How about this? He's got 4 other siblings. Been playing football since the age of 5. Pop Warner teams, of course, Lakeshore Athletic Association, and has been playing varsity at Ed White since his freshman year. He's received some offers from Middle Tennessee State, Georgia State, Florida International University, Illinois, Liberty, University of Akron, Troy, and Long Island University, but decided to commit to Bowling Green, and they got a good one. I watched him tonight. He carries a big load for Ed White, and he does it well. He's not afraid to get hit, not afraid of contact, not afraid of play after play after play. And last week, 27 carries, 300 yards. Held in check a little bit tonight against Atlantic Coast. But congratulations to Jason Patterson as he is headed to Bowling Green State University. And he wants to major in engineering and veterinary. Can you do that? Is it he wants to be a veterinarian? Is that a major? But how do you say the major? Veterinary? The way it reads. That doesn't sound right to me, though. Engineering sounds right to me.
I think Cruz is Google.
That's also an interesting combo.
That's a hard combo.
That's an interesting combo. So, major in engineer and veterinary.
It says studying veterinary.
Is that how you
I guess
say
that's
it?
it.
Wow, I did not realize that. Fascinating. Sorry, kids, don't grow up to be like me here on the Blitz Scoreboard show. But anyway, that's pretty cool that he wants to major in those categories. So good luck to him as he heads to Bowling Green State University. I've also got some fun facts on him. They gave me a ton of information, so let's see what it is. Jason has been a multi-sport athlete, played baseball since the age of 5, played basketball during middle school in his freshman year, decided to wrestle his sophomore year, plays third at the Gateway Conference, and varsity baseball since freshman year, along with freshman year of football. He's been playing varsity level. So, and he ran track. So he's got a bunch of letters over there at Ed White High School. So, yeah. So how about that for Jason Patterson? He is our ESPN 690 Athlete of the Week. And thanks to the folks from Ed White for sharing all that information and plus the picture that you see of our Athlete of the Week this week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Brent Martineau, Olivia Tassily is here. Koo's doing a great job trying to take us to all these games. Once again, the big one tonight in our Game of the Week, brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. Oakleaf comes back to beat Fleming Island, 29-22. They were down 22-7 in the second half, and they come back and get it done in overtime, and they win that football game in a great game. We'll have a reaction to that game coming up on the Friday Night Blitz and more highlights of that one. But we were able to take you live to the finish of that game thanks to Marcel Robinson here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. And if you're just jumping in and just finding us, this is what we do every Friday from 9 p.m. until 10 p.m. We do it on the radio side as well, but this is really a visual thing that we try to show you the end of games in the area. We showed you Bowles a little bit earlier. We've already taken you to Menendez where they're up big 55-35. We also have taken you to First Coast where they won over Yulee 34-0. Right now, Trinity Christian is beating Mandarin now. They've pulled away 27-7 in the second half. So those are some of the updates on the Blitz Scoreboard Show as we continue to check scores. In fact, I'm going to do it one more time before we hit the end of this show and try to refresh to see if there are any updates. Baldwin beat Andrew Jackson. I think it's worth mentioning again, 22-12. Baldwin stays undefeated, along with Baker County, who stayed undefeated with a 42-14 win over Terry Parker. And Coach just mentioned it. He just joined us. Baker County, now plays Bowles next week. Hey, let's write that one down as a potential game of the week because that could be a really good one next week. Atlantic Coast runs by Ed White, 31-13 was the final. I was at that game. Atlantic Coast. Atlantic Coast now 2-2. And one of their losses, they were up big against Terry Parker and blew the lead in the second half. So they could easily be 3-1. And good football team. They're doing a good job with it. Ridge Jacobs, the quarterback, committed to Holy Cross. Pat Bryant had a beautiful play. Wait till I show you that one tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. Showed off his athleticism. He's headed to Illinois. So they've got a good football team. They're doing some good things, and they get a win tonight. Over Ed White, 31-13. Orange Park comes back and beats Bishop Kenny, 38-35. BK was in the lead in that game for the most part as I was watching, but Orange Park with a big win, 38-35. They come back and get the W. St. Augustine 27, Flagler 7. I mentioned Oakleaf. Beats Fleming Island in overtime. We showed you that one. Eagles View over Cedar Creek. Clay beats West Nassau 50-22. When we went on the air, it was 28-22, and then Clay blitzed them in the final 15 minutes or so of that one. Ridgeview and Middlebury, that was a fun game. Ridgeview wins by a touchdown, 34-27. It was tied 20-20. It was tied 27-27. Ridgeview wins 34-27. Creekside over Nice, they bounce back from last week and win 31-17. Matanzas gets the 38-3 win as well. Sewanee over Palatka. Interlochen beats Taylor. Frederica up in Georgia beats Long County. Madison County over Columbia 12-0. They shut out the Tigers there in Columbia County. Matchup of two really storied programs and good programs as well. So those are some of the updates on the scores. Menendez has gone final. All right, 55-35. That one is in the books. We only have about 5 minutes to go here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We're going to give way to the Friday Night Blitz. That's at 10:30 on Fox 30. But before we do that, Kuz, we have our Blitz QB high five. Something new here on the show. You know, everybody does power rankings. We do a high five. But we're just giving a high five. This isn't necessarily a power ranking, but for the first time, I wouldn't say the first time, that's unfair. The last few years, we have finally, I say, have a lot of depth at the QB position. When I first got to town back in 2008, it was a bit void of quarterbacks. We had tons of talent. For, in 2010 and 12 and 14, it felt like we had tons of talent in the area. You look at a roster on a Saturday in the SEC or anywhere around college football, you got a Jacksonville product playing on a Saturday and a lot of them playing on Sundays. But the quarterback position wasn't necessarily like that. Well, now it's become that way. As you get a look at the handshake in the Menendez-Inglewood game, Menendez wins that 55-35. I think now the quarterback situation here in Jacksonville is very good. And so what we're going to do is give a shout-out to some of those quarterbacks. And we're going to call it the Blitz QB High Five. So here's our 5 guys that we say hello to and give them a high five here tonight. We have that up, ready to roll? That's good. I want to make sure before I do that. Thanks to Marcel Robinson for the high five, by the way. He did that artwork. Jalen Saunier from Jackson. Coming into the night tonight. This is coming into the night, of course. Jalen Saunier, 8 touchdowns and 1 interception, was doing a great job. Jacoby Myers from Ponte Vedra. Looks like they're going to fall to Bartram Trail tonight, but again, a reminder, this was coming into this week. Jacoby Myers and Ponte Vedra are off to a great start prior to meeting up with Bartram Trail. Santana Jackson had a big game for Ribault last week. It's been carrying those guys and keeping them right in the mix. Bryce Tompkins, Baldwin, stays undefeated. He actually is our athlete of the week a few weeks back here on ESPN 690. But we give him a high five for his play at the quarterback position. And Trey Griner from Clay. Don't think he threw an interception so far this season going into tonight's game. We'll see how he did tonight, but they put up 50 points. So I assume Trey and that Clay offense had a pretty good night. Trey Griner rounds out our top 5, our high five here on ESPN 690, the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We call it the Blitz QB High Five. Jalen Saunier from Jackson, Jacoby Myers, Ponte Vedra, Santana Jackson, Ribault, Bryce Tompkins, Baldwin, Trey Griner, Clay. Look at it as kind of like a power poll, although you could see 5 new names next week based on tonight's performances. Check it out each and every week here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We got it all in, Kuz. Nice job. Time to go home. I think. Yeah, very good. See, he's playing the music. You can't hear it, but I can.
I wasn't sure if that was the sign or not.
That's a good sign. Whatever. Let's get out of here, right? Everybody's seeing the scores. We're going to go show a half-hour of highlights on the Friday Night Blitz on Fox 30. That was a whole lot of fun again. I mean, the show gets... Listen, it's trial and error. It's a new thing. Nobody's doing anything like this, I don't think. It's not like a pat on the back. I just don't think anybody is. So it's trial and error on the high school scene. And we're having a blast with it. Stuart Weber, Marcel Robinson, Olivia Tasley, Coos. Did I mess up your name last week? Yeah, I kind of stuttered over your name. Tonight's I stuttered over veterinary. Apparently that's a major. That's how you say it. I knew you could be a veterinarian. I didn't know you major in veterinary. Learn something new every night. Congratulations to Jason Patterson. He is our athlete of the week. Congrats to all the big winners tonight. More football to come. The playoff brackets are out. We'll explain a little bit more about that on the Friday Night Blitz on Fox 30 here in just a little bit. And we'll be with you again next week here at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We call it the Blitz Scoreboard Show. What a game we had earlier. Go back and look at the feed if you missed it. Oakleaf beats Fleming Island 29-22 in our Game of the Week brought to you by Honda of the Avenues. That one went to overtime. We showed it to you live right here on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. If you missed it, check it out. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on the Friday Night Blitz on TV, Fox 30, CBS 47 in about a half hour.